This is a parasite under a microscope. So is this, and so is this. I believe that parasites are physical manifestations of demons in the spirit realm, or some kind of spiritual conduit. Do you want to know why? Because Jesus cast the demons into the herd of pigs and they jump into the ocean. Pigs are extremely infested with all different kinds of parasites. They're also labeled an unclean animal. They're not meant to be food. So to me, there's a clear link between parasites and demons, and the world is starting to wake up to the fact that most illnesses, both physical and mental, are caused by parasites. It's not coincidence, at least in my opinion, that America is probably the sickest country in the world, both physically and mental health wise. And we're pretty much the only country that doesn't parasite cleanse. They tell us that we don't need to, that America doesn't have them, all types of nonsense like that. And that is simply not the truth. CIA documents just came out from the 60s that literally link parasites to cancer. So they'll have this information out in the open and tell you to your face that it's not true.
Tumor is working on keeping you alive. Cancer is not even an illness. Cancer is a symptom. We have so many toxins in our system that would kill us. So the body builds a bubble, a tumor, and collects all these poisons and keeps the poisons on one spot where they don't do harm. That's a tumor. So the cancer is basically your friend. So that's why it's so dangerous if anybody comes with a needle biopsy and pinches into this tumor and releases the toxins into the system. And all of a sudden they find you have a very fast-growing, very aggressive cancer that you didn't have before the needle biopsy.
We are intelligently designed and our bodies want us to be healthy. It's not just us that God designed this way. Pearls are formed when an irritant such as a parasite or a piece of shell enters a mollusk and becomes trapped, triggering a natural defense mechanism. It coats this intruder with layers of calcium carbonate and proteins, which builds up over years to create a pearl. So it's forming a shell just like a tumor over a parasite or an intruder. I am certainly not promoting astrology. I don't research astrology. I just knew this from seeing it out and about. It's an insane truth in plain sight. So the sign for Cancer is a crab. The Bible forbids us from eating shellfish. Why? Because crabs and other shellfish are bottom feeders. They clean up the environment. They're like vacuums. They're full of parasites. But I find this one especially interesting because it's a hard shell full of parasites, and it's called cancer. But it's not just cancer. I really think that it's pretty much every single illness, again, both physical and mental. I posted my parasite protocol on my Facebook a few times, and I see a lot of these comments. I followed your parasite protocol you shared and the pills you took. I'm on week 2, and it has helped me so much. Actually insane to see decades-long issues resolve so quickly. And if you look up the things that parasites are responsible for, it's actually insane. I know people who were gay for years and they did a parasite heavy metal cleanse and suddenly they were just straight. I've known people that were Islamic that did a parasite cleanse, turned to God, all types of things like cancer. I've seen herpes, STDs, just generalized pain, migraines, literally almost anything that you can think of, anxiety, depression. Toxoplasma gondii is a type of parasite that's carried by cats. They are estimated to currently infect at least 1/3 of the population, if not more. Some of the symptoms of that specific one: BPD, suicidal thoughts, intrusive thoughts, sexual promiscuity, risk-taking behaviors, lack of impulse control. The list goes on and on and on. You guys can do your own research. But my point is, this is a huge problem, and it seems like it's only a problem in America. So I'm going to give you guys my simple, natural, biblical parasite heavy metal cleanse. I've given it before, but a lot of people are asking me to update it, so we'll do that. Just to make a few things clear though, if you're pregnant or nursing, wait until you're finished. Don't do it right now. I'm not a medical professional. I've just done a lot of crunchy holistic research myself, and I tried a few things, and this is what works for me, and I've seen other people say that it worked great for them. So do your own research. This is not medical advice. just sharing what I personally do and what I use and find to be effective. And lastly, this is not an atonement or like going to make you spiritually clean or something like that. The final atonement was Christ on the cross. He died, rose from the dead, and he is at the right hand of the Father. He intercedes for us because he always lives. So that is not what this is about at all. Please do not think that this is like asceticism or something like that. This is to help with physical and mental ailments and hopefully like save you some money. Everything I'm going to show you, I made an Amazon link out of. I'll drop the link below. You do not have to buy through my link. You can just like look these up if you're more comfortable. If you do, thank you. If you don't, no hard feelings at all. I have no affiliation with these brands and I buy all of this stuff with my own money. Revelation 22:2, the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. This is the ESV. In the King James Version, it says the herbs. So the herbs will heal the nations. Herbs are not a bad thing, you guys. It's not like witchcraft. The Bible says in several places that God put the herbs here for medicine. Everything I'm about to tell you, you're going to do for 30 to 60 days. You have to listen to your body. I can't give like a one size fits all thing. I'm not even like a medical person, but just from seeing what everybody kind of does, that's what I've taken away and that's what I do. You will know when you stop passing these things. I promise you, you will know. So 30 to 60 days once a year. And then I like to do like 2-week maintenance cycles once or twice a year just to like keep up on it because that's what they do in foreign countries. So first off, you have to make sure that your lymph is active and moving and that your digestive system is moving. You need to make sure that you're consistently hydrated and going to the bathroom. If you're not, I know a lot of people aren't, the 15-day cleanse by Mia Amor is really good. I like this one. You can do whatever kind you want to do to get things moving. The big thing is to make sure that everything in your body is moving and your body can actually like push toxins and dead parasites out in different ways. So if we kill them, you don't want to leave them circulating because it's just going to make you feel crappy and not really help that much. They need to come out. So make sure that you're going to the bathroom. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water. A sauna is really good. If you can't do a sauna, I love doing like hot baths or detox baths before I shower. Dry brushing is a really good alternative. I'm a huge fan of castor oil packs. So what you do is before you go to bed, take castor oil. This one is the Genesis brand. It has to be organic and it has to be in a dark glass bottle. This is my favorite one I've tried. I've tried like 5 or 6 over time and I feel like this one works the best. So I pour a bunch of it over my stomach and in my belly button, and then you rub it into your side where your liver is because it's going to assist your liver as well as help you detox in general. And then you want to take a cotton cloth of some kind, whether that's like a t-shirt, a towel, a cloth, whatever. Just make sure it's cotton and cover the area where you put it and leave it on overnight. This helps with detox, energy levels. Castor oil is amazing for breaking things up. Barbara O'Neill says that she had several patients that were able to break up like fibroids and all different things by putting castor oil on. It pulls things out. So that's why it's so important to have a dark glass bottle, because if it's plastic, you don't want to pull like the BPAs out of the plastic bottle and then put them on your body. Do you see what I'm saying? So if it's dark glass, it can't do that. If everything's already moving, I really, really like the Venatura Wormwood Black Walnut and Cloves supplement. This is going to be your anti-parasitic. This is what kills the parasites. So the way I personally do this is when I eat dinner, I'll take 1 dose of this after dinner. The idea is that parasites are feeding on whatever you're eating. You eat the dinner, wait like 10-15 minutes, and then take one of these. The parasites like come out of hiding and go to eat your food. This comes in and basically crushes them. This might sound gross, but they explode like slugs. And the reason you want wormwood, black walnut, and cloves is because they kill all 3 life cycles of parasites. And like I said, you don't have to use the Venatura. You could use whatever you have at home, or if there's like a brand that you prefer. I don't like work with the brands. I'm just telling you what I personally use, and I like the ingredients in this one as well as the price and the accessibility. So my logic with this is the top ingredient is wormwood. In Revelation, it says that wormwood falls and makes the waters bitter. And this might be a little bit speculative to some people, but for me, I don't think it is. If anyone's seen the Watch the Waters documentary or saw like all of the Ryan Garcia videos, the word on the street is that all of the waters have parasites in them right now. So what I personally take away from that is that if wormwood falls and makes the waters bitter, do you see what I'm saying? Like wormwood going into the waters, why? Well, wormwood kills parasites. And every time that someone's in an act of judgment in the Bible, they're given wormwood and bitters. In Exodus 12, it says, they shall take some of the blood and put it on the 2 doorposts and the lintel of the houses in which they eat it. They shall eat the flesh that night, roasted on the fire with unleavened bread, and bitter herbs they shall eat. So that's another thing. I personally would not do this if you don't have Jesus Christ in your life, because they're just going to come back worse. You have to stand on a firm foundation as your starting point. So the flesh that this is talking about is the lamb. So we have Christ, the blood on the doorposts, covered in the blood, the unleavened bread, no pride, and bitter herbs. What's going to happen after you take this, you're going to wait about an hour or 2. In that time frame, after you had your dinner and then you take this, do not eat or take any like supplements or medicines or anything like that. Just allow this to kill the parasites. What happens is when the parasites explode, they're full of heavy metals. So heavy metals start circulating and like toxins and like chunks of parasites. So what you have to do is go in with an activated charcoal. So this is your binder, if anybody is unfamiliar with like the lingo around this. So like I said, about an hour or 2, no food, no medicine. You're going to take a dose of this. This is the Now activated charcoal. I like this one because it's like affordable and it's natural. And then same thing, an hour or 2 after the fact, no eating, no medication, no nothing. This is going to soak up all of the nasty junk that the parasites send out into your body. Isaiah 6, I said, woe is me, for I am lost, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of people of unclean lips. For my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. Then one of the seraphim flew to me, having in his hand a burning coal that he had taken with tongs from the altar. And he touched my mouth and said, behold, this has touched your lips, your guilt is taken away, and your sin is atoned for. So again, this is not meant to be like atonement, but we know that all scripture is profitable and usable. So I definitely think that in some way is probably pointing to this idea. Maybe not this exact protocol, but I think it is useful, especially in this situation. And I love this binder. I've tried a couple different other kinds. Like I've tried Diamedicus Earth and stuff, and it leaves me with a headache afterwards. So I just stick with my charcoal. And with all of this said, if you are not eating a really nutrient dense diet, or like you have some kind of deficiency or whatever that you're already aware of, you're going to want to remineralize. And that's going to be specific to each person. I can't give like an all for one type of recommendation. I personally take magnesium. This is the BioEmblem one, and also zinc and a B complex. But like I said, it's going to be specific to you. You have to know your own body. Do research where you feel you need to and decide if this is right for you. I'm just making a video about what I personally do, and other people have seen results for this, but at the same time, you have to decide if this is right for you.